Marquette University is now archiving the work of James Foley, a Marquette alum and foreign correspondent executed by ISIS nearly a decade ago.
And our Bruce Harrison reports on a special friendship and how without it, that archive may not exist.
Where did you meet him? Do you remember that moment?
I do. We met at O'Donoghue's, which was a pub that's no longer on campus. We were, for better or worse, we had good fake IDs.
Nearly 20 years before Jim Foley reported on civil wars in Libya and Syria, he spent 4 years at Marquette University studying and hanging out with this guy, Tom Durkin.
He was just interested in everything, and so he was a good guy to be around because he was going to do something interesting, and if you followed along, you're going to see some interesting things.
When their favorite bar was torn down and a fraternity went up, Durkin says Foley climbed up the facade and snatched a letter.
I just know that he came back late at night and said, I got their tea.
He was proud.
We were all proud.
Durkin says he's happy to share tales of college glory, not to encourage mischief, but to remind students Foley walked here too.
You don't have to mythologize Jim. He wasn't otherworldly. He was like us. He was a normal dude who just liked to have fun, but he also knew when to be serious.
While working as a freelance journalist in Syria in 2012, Foley was captured and held hostage. Nearly 2 years later, the U.S. government verified a video of ISIS beheading Foley.
I'm so sorry, Tom. And I knew it. Like, that's all the text said, and I just turned the TV on and...
Within weeks, Foley's friends and family, including his mother Diane, launched the Foley Foundation. Their goals: bring home Americans captured overseas and improve safety for journalists.
He thought that what really made journalism was moral courage. And the way he defined moral courage is the ability to do what's right regardless of what the reprisals might be on your career.
Diane gave Durkin suitcases full of Foley's things after his death.
All I know is they became like brothers.
And years later, during the pandemic, they first discussed an archive.
I have these papers, I'm like, I can't do this, I'm gonna ruin them.
They're Foley's writings from Libya during his first capture as a correspondent. He scrawled on whatever paper he could find in prison. Durkin decided to reach out to Marquette.
We said, this is very special. This needs to be preserved.
Archivist Katie Blank says preparing Foley's collection will take time. They're tediously reviewing and storing 10 terabytes of digital material, as well as physical items like Foley's prison writings.
It shows that Marquette recognizes the value of Jim as a person, recognizes the value of his work, and recognizes how his work and his life can help inform and encourage journalism.
Blank says some of the archive will be available starting next year online as well as in person with special collections. It's the same year that marks the 10th anniversary of Foley's execution.
I am just so deeply touched. I'm hoping that other young journalists and students can learn from Jim and be inspired by his aspiration to be a man of moral courage.
For Tom Durkin, it's all still a bit overwhelming, hard to grasp. After all, to him, Foley was just a guy, a buddy to go on fun trips with or crack a couple beers.
It makes me so proud to say that this is my friend. Like that I knew Jim Foley. Like he was somebody that I talked to, that I hung out with, that I could call.
Reporting in Milwaukee, Bruce Harrison, TMJ4 News.
What an incredible way to honor his legacy.
Yeah, I never had a chance to meet him, but I greatly admired his work. And, you know, when you hear about that moral courage, he was so brave to do what he did. And it's great to see Marquette holding on to that legacy.
Yeah, he'll inspire and give courage to generations of more journalists.
Yeah. All right.